across the way, the Pamir Mountains into China, they call it the Yeren. And to me, I really believe it's the same species, that obviously there's going to be some regional differences, evolutionary differences through time, or some very minor differences, you know? Like if you look at all humans across the world, we have some differences, right? Genetic differences, this could be the same case. So I believe there's really a pathway out of Africa, through Eurasia, through the mountain ranges in Central Asia, and up into North America, and probably down the coast into South America. Here's the thing too, when you start going over to Europe and Russia and Siberia, it was taken a lot more seriously by European anthropologists, so they've done a little more studies. And they've found the same evidence that we have, you know, the footprints, that has some hair samples, you know, the same, and it matches perfectly to what we have here in North America. So I think, again, it's the matching quality from different time periods, from different people, unrelated countries, different languages and all that, you know, I found to me is the most compelling.
But yeah, when you look at all across the United States and you look at what people are experiencing in like Maine and the Northeast, and compare that to the South, compare that to the West Coast, and compare that to the Pacific Northwest, Canada, there's a lot of similarities, but there are differences from what they're describing. There are differences in temperament of the animals. You know, in the Pacific Northwest and in Canada, people, you know, 8, 9, 10 foot tall Sasquatch. In the South, people, yeah, they're about 7.5 foot tall, 8 foot tall at the most. One of the things in biology research is Bergmann's rule. The farther north you go, the bigger animals tend to be. Bears and mountain lions tend to be bigger when you go north. Not always. There are some animals that get smaller. But even a coyote in the desert could weigh 10 pounds. It's going to be 40 pounds up in the north or in higher areas. They got to be a bigger, robust species.
Every Native American tribe in North America has a story about the giant, hairy, smelly giants in the woods, you know. A lot of them pretty violent. And then I found that there was a painting from Mongolia from the 1800s that looks exactly like a Bigfoot, including the big breast associated, you know, with the Patterson film. And also it showed a picture of somebody getting the arms torn off. And we're talking about two separate cultures, obviously, that didn't have a whole lot in common, but are depicting the exact same mythology, if you want to call it mythology, you know? And what, in North America, there's maybe 500 names for Bigfoot? Every tribe has their stories, you know, and early settlers, I know, have their stories. Even the Vikings, supposedly, you know, encountered the big, hairy, smelly guys up in northern Canada, wherever else they landed.
I think it's kind of in our modern day hubris to think that we know everything and we're great now, and people 200 years ago were stupid or something. It's like, no, they really weren't. They're just as, they didn't consider, you know, people 200 years ago didn't consider themselves old fashioned. They considered themselves modern. They considered themselves educated. And in fact, not being as plugged in, they were probably way more aware of their surroundings and what were going on than we are today, by far, with all our digital distractions in our modern life. So I think it's very important to look at historical encounters. One gentleman is Tom Seawood. He's actually part of the Kwakwaka'ewak tribe in the Pacific Northwest, and he does tours and adventures all around Vancouver and Vancouver Island. And he's had a number of encounters. And being a full-fledged tribe member, he actually talks about their tribal beliefs of Bigfoot. For them, they have the Zunaqua, which is the wild woman of the woods. It's this big, hairy woman with a wicker basket. And it's kind of their version of a boogeyman. Don't go out at night. Listen to your parents. Don't go out and smoke cigarettes. Don't go out and steal food. Don't go out past 10. The Zunaqua will get you. And it's way back in their tradition. It was this big, hairy woman who would scoop bad children up, put her in the basket on her back, take them out and eat them.
That clip's from our film Don't Call Me Bigfoot. Watch the whole movie on Tubi TV, Roku, Fossum, Plex, Amazon, and here on YouTube. Link is in the description.